money, cause I be the baddie beat, Barbie team, banging body beat, everybody beat, on my D, yo, I gotta be, in reality, suck a D, if you gotta me.
Today, I'm making jerk shrimp Rasta pasta. The first thing you want to do is take out your deep boiling pot, fill it halfway. You're gonna add salt to the water. Then you're also gonna take out your panini pasta. This is a 16-ounce box. You're gonna pour the whole box of pasta into the pot. Then after that, you're gonna take your pot and put it on the stove. Then you're gonna turn on your stove to high to boil the noodles. Now I have my cleaned shrimp. This is a pound of fresh cleaned shrimp. Everything's already deveined. I'm gonna go ahead and add some minced garlic. I use about a teaspoon of minced garlic. This is one of my very small spoons that I have in my house. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add that in there. Now that I've added this garlic, I'm gonna go ahead and add this Walker's Wood jerk marinade. I got this marinade from the grocery store. It's one of my favorite brands that I like to use. I'm gonna add just a little bit of that. I don't wanna add too much because it is very watery. Next, I'm gonna add the Walker's Wood jerk seasoning. I like it really, really hot. I'm gonna add a lot of that because it is thicker and it tastes really, really good once it cooks down in the pan. Now I'm gonna add some adobo. Everybody knows I love a little bit of MSG in my food, just a little razzle dazzle. Next, I'm gonna add some onion powder. You just wanna sprinkle just a little bit of onion powder into the mix. Now I'm gonna take out some parsley. This is some fresh parsley that I bought from the grocery store. It goes perfect with any type of noodles or pasta that you cook. I'm gonna rinse this off really good, and then I'm gonna chop about half of the bunch. So you don't want too much parsley, just a good amount to give it the flavor. I'm gonna cut it in half, and then I'm going to just dice them up very thick. You don't want them to be too small. Parsley is gonna cook down much like cilantro cooks down anyway, so it doesn't have to be super fine and super thin. If anything, it adds a little bit of color to the final dish. Now that that's all done, I'm gonna go ahead and mix everything up really, really good. I actually was not happy with the color once it was done, so I added some more of the thicker Walker's Wood jerk seasoning to it to give it a little bit more color. You want it to be very, very brown and almost mud-like. So you see here, I'm gonna add some more Walker's Wood. I actually ended up adding a lot more. I'm gonna cover the shrimp really, really well. After I'm satisfied with the way that the shrimp looks, I'm going to go ahead and put those in the fridge and let those marinate for 10 to 15 minutes. Now that the shrimp is done, I picked out these beautiful bell peppers. I have a thing for bright, colorful bell peppers. I like to mix my colors up. I also grabbed 2 Romano tomatoes. One thing that you want to make sure to do when you're preparing your veggies for any type of Cajun meal, you do not want your veggies to be too small, because once it cooks down properly, you still want to have the flavor and the color of your veggies that you've added into the dish. So in this case, you'll see me chop them up pretty thick. Once they cook down, it gives it a beautiful color and a very nice texture to add to the pasta. Also, whenever you're making Cajun dishes or dishes that have a lot of spice, I like to add a tomato or 2 to the dish. The tomatoes help cut the seasoning really, really well, and they also make your dish a little bit thicker. In this case, since I'm making some jerk pasta, I added 2 tomatoes just to kind of cut the salts in the dish, and it helps make the Alfredo a little bit thicker. Now that all the prepping is complete, you want to take out your deep saucepan. I've already turned it on high. I'm going to go ahead and cover the bottom layer of the saucepan in avocado oil. Avocado oil is very healthy for you whenever you're making dishes with a lot of oil requirements. Avocado oil also is really good at catching the flavor and disappearing as if you didn't just add all the oil in there. It's actually my favorite. Aside from grape oil, I use grape oil from frying. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and take your shrimp out of the fridge. This is a shrimp that's been marinating for 10 to 15 minutes while I was getting everything else prepared. You're going to dump the whole bowl into the saucepan. You want to add every ounce. That's going to give it that extra jerk seasoning and flavor. This is about 10 minutes later after the shrimp has cooked down really good. It smells amazing. Around this time, you want to go ahead and check on your pasta noodles. They should be about halfway done boiling by now. They should be finished by the time the shrimp is done cooking. Look at these shrimps. They look so good. They might not look much to the naked eye, but trust me, that is nothing but garlic, parsley, and jerk seasoning, and it couldn't smell any better. Now you're going to remove all of your shrimp. You're going to put them in a clean bowl, and then you're going to set those aside. Once that's all done, I'm going to turn my saucepan down to low, and then I'm going to remove any extra oil. So in this case, I have quite a bit of extra seasoning at the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to remove about half of it. You do want to keep the oils in the pan because that is the basis of your Alfredo.
Got the kick.
So now that I've removed half of the oil and seasoning at the bottom of the pan, I'm going to let that cool down for a little bit. Look at that. I really wish you guys could smell it. I'm going to let that cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to add the milk. Now we're going to take out our heavy whipping cream. This is about a pint of heavy whipping cream from Kroger. Any type of heavy whipping cream is just fine. It'll do the trick. It is the #1 ingredient for homemade Alfredo. I absolutely love it. Now you're going to add your heavy whipping cream and let that warm up a little bit in your saucepan. Then you want to stir it up really well. You want to mix in the cream with the oils and your jerk seasoning that's in the bottom of the pan. Once it warms up really well, the seasonings, the oils, and the milk will mix together really well, and it'll look like it never happened. This is what your Alfredo base should look like once it's all mixed together really well with the jerk seasoning. While that's warming up, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my sink on cold. I'm going to dump all of my pasta noodles into the strainer and let the cold water run on it. Cold water stops your pasta noodles from cooking more while they're into the sink. You don't want them to continue cooking once they're out of the pot. The heat will do that. So you want to run it over with cold water really good and make sure that all the noodles are cooled off pretty well. After that, I'm going to add just a little bit of oil to the noodles because you do not want the noodles to stick together. The oil helps keep the noodles slippery and it keeps them from getting all starchy and stuck together. Now I'm going to just toss the noodles just a little bit. They're very hot. Look at how beautiful they look. And then I'm going to put those to the side. Now that my cream and oil base is warm, I'm going to add those beautiful veggies to the pan. I'm going to let those veggies cook all the way down inside the Alfredo base for about 15 to 20 minutes. You want to cook it on medium. You do not want to turn the pan up too high because it will burn. This is about 15 minutes later. All the veggies have cooked down really, really well. The cream base is starting to thicken up really good. The veggies look amazing. Making them a little bit thicker cut really gives it a nice Cajun feel. Now that that's cooked down, we're going to add our seasoning. I'm going to add some Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning. You're going to add about a teaspoon of that. It depends on how spicy you want it. I like mine really spicy, so I kind of dumped it in there. Then you're going to add a little bit of sage. You want to add about a pinch of sage to the pan. It gives it a really nice flavor overall. Then you're going to add the paprika. The paprika helps give it the beautiful color that it's going to have. You want to add about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of paprika. Next, you're going to add the cumin. Cumin gives it that smoky flavor, the Cajun flavor. It just gives you what you need, okay? So you want to add 2 tablespoons of cumin. Next, you're going to add some thyme leaves. Thyme leaves go amazing with Cajun dishes, Jamaican dishes. And then you're going to add some fresh ground black pepper. I love black pepper, but I'm not going to overdo it this time. Now I'm going to add just a pinch of sea salt. The coarse sea salt will really help pull it all together. Now I'm going to mix this and I'm going to turn my pot down a little bit. Right now it's on medium. It's simmering really, really well. It smells amazing, you guys.
Got the kick.
Next, you want to add your Parmesan. This is some fresh Parmesan. It's shredded already. You're going to add about half of the bag to the Parmesan. Remember, this is an Alfredo base sauce, so the Parmesan helps pull it all together. It gives it that cheesy original flavor. And I mean, how can you not love Parmesan in pasta? Come on now. I'm going to mix that together really, really well. Again, your pot at this point should be on low. You do not want it to simmer anymore. You just want to let everything get nice and thick and fall in love with each other. The smell is amazing. You're almost there because at this point, I just want to drink it. This is the moment where you can really see your hard work come to life. You can see all the seasonings, the veggies, the cheese, the sauce, the smell. Now that that's done, you're gonna add your shrimp. Look at that shrimp. You're gonna go ahead and dump that whole bowl of shrimp into your sauce. Oh my goodness. This is just one of my favorite dishes, I swear. You're going to mix that together really, really, really well. Fantastic. After you mix that together, you're going to add your pasta noodles. First, you're going to add about half of them. Mix them together really, really good to make sure all of the noodles are covered. Then you're gonna add more noodles as needed. So in this case, I didn't need all of them, but I needed about 75% of the noodles. So you wanna keep adding the noodles until there's no more runny sauce on the sides and on the bottom. You do not want that much extra sauce in this situation because the panini pasta noodles really soak up a lot of the pasta, and you really don't need any extra sauce. I promise you're not gonna need it.
Gets kick.
Now that that's all stirred up, look at how good that looks. I'm gonna add a little bit more pasta noodles to it. As you can see, there's still a little bit of sauce on the sides, but look at that. Look at the seasonings, the cheese. You can still see some of the parsley. Oh, I'm so hungry, honestly. I went ahead and added some more noodles, so now it is looking perfect. Now you want to add your second layer of Parmesan cheese on top just to help tie in all the pasta and the sauce together. So then I'm going to mix that together really, really well, and then you're all done. Yum. This is the finished product, and I'm just going to let you guys hear it with your own ears because OMG. Here is it plated. I freaking am obsessed. You can see the colors from the bell peppers. You can see the tomatoes, the parsley, the shrimp, the seasonings. Oh, the cheese. Man, I'm telling you, this is one for the books. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Bye, guys.